this is a monumental and historic day. I hope that this will open the eyes of a lot of people who previously did not want to think for themselves, did not question things, and would follow orders blindly without even a second thought. Take it from someone who used to work in the government, who can attest firsthand that the government very rarely has your best interests in mind. Usually it's all self serving and someone's getting something good out of it. And exactly this is the situation that you would expect. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but you all know what's currently happening here. The moment I start saying too much of a specific word or combination, this video is going to get demonetized, delisted, and pretty much no one will ever see it again. So, that's how we're gonna do it. Anyway, we have this glorious video just coming right out there, and, well, I think it speaks for itself, honestly.
If you don't get vaccinated, you're antisocial. This is what the Dutch Prime Minister and Health Minister told us. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking, even criminal.
Okay, then he starts to speak like a politician, so we don't exactly care anymore. But yes, essentially that was just announced. We know that the American governments, pretty much all governments around the world, were pushing this, and they said, the science has been settled, this is gonna happen, and you get it, and it stops circulating. And they had absolutely no evidence of supporting it. And they knew they had absolutely no evidence. They said themselves, think about it. Think about it from this perspective for a moment if you don't know how this works. Do you honestly think any institution, any government, any private company has your best interests in mind? Getting first to the cure means billions upon billions upon billions in income, in pure profits, without any repercussions. Because if you don't know, this is how it happened. Pfizer only allowed countries that signed a legally bounding document that said, hey, if something bad happens to you because you took it, that's not on us, chief, that's on you. That's literally what they signed, by the way. Literally, if you agree to take it, then anything bad that can potentially ever happen from it cannot be blamed on them. You see, when we're talking about making billions, not caring a little bit about humanity goes a long way. It truly does. In the worst case scenario, if they completely lie and just make something that kind of does the job right, and people are not like 50% mortality rate or anything like that, then that means that they're gonna just get fined a couple of 100 million at the worst case scenario, but they will be, at the end of the day, they will have been making billions. So a fine for a couple of 100 million honestly means absolutely nothing in situations like this. That is one way to look at it. Second of all, some people don't know this, but the science is never settled. Most things that we think currently are absolutely 100% the laws of physics, most scientists that are worth shit will tell you that, yeah, something can actually happen that can explain it even better and change how fundamentally we can look at things. Science is almost never settled in our case. We simply do not know things. And if you know history, even just a little bit, I'm talking like only 20 years ago, then you probably know this, because this is pretty well known at this moment in time. But we currently, in the past 10 years, have developed technologies, concepts, and things in general that were considered scientifically, physically impossible to achieve because we thought that the world doesn't work that way 20 years ago. The science is absolutely never settled, and the people who just instantaneously assume that it's going to be right the moment it gets told to you, Well, you should probably think a little bit more and actually look into history. One of my favorite examples is about obviously global warming and climate change. 70 years ago, for roughly 30 or something years, they constantly were touting the Ice Age, that it's coming, it's like literally 2 years away, and it's coming. Because, the world was getting colder and shit. After those 30 years passed, it was global warming. We're all gonna die in hellfire because it's gonna be too hot. Now it's just climate change in general because one part is getting a little bit more hot, one part is getting a little bit more cold. Scientists, in a lot of cases, literally have no fucking clue what's happening. It's just a goddamn narrative, and that's it. And this, I think, is a really good eye-opener. Because a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost opportunities. A lot of people got absolutely fucked over by the lie almost every government in the world spread, saying that if you get this, you stop it. And you need to get this because that's the only way you stop it. A lot of people don't know this because it's not hot to follow anymore. But currently, it's not recommended for people below 18. Maybe you did not know this. But that's not it. Actually, currently it's not recommended for men under 37 because it gives you a higher chance of dying from heart risks and things like that than actually from the disease itself. Yeah, think about that. In the start, oh, it's a miracle. It's going to save everyone. Yeah, turns out no one needs to be saved who is actually healthy. People who are not healthy, yeah, you probably kind of most likely need it, but go see your doctor and ask them. But for people who are healthy, it was completely useless. I actually caught it, and I just had 2 days minor headache, and it felt like a really, really annoying cold. That's it. Headache plus cold, congratulations, that's it. Because I'm perfect health. Other people who aren't, yeah, that's going to be a problem for them. So they can take it. But everyone else, technically, most doctors even said at that time, maybe it's not exactly necessary if you're peak health. After they started pushing it hard, though. And if they started pushing it hard for reasons like this. This is absolute insanity. 70 years are gonna pass when everyone who was a part of this bonanza is gonna die, and they're gonna release the findings, everything they actually knew about this thing, and so on. Because currently it's all sealed for 70 years. What a great time to be alive. People are pissed, and people are rightfully pissed. Because a lot of people just ate this without thinking for themselves, and a lot of people just, well, I don't know. Obviously did not believe it, and they got called crazy for this. And by the way, the funniest part probably about all of this is that currently our good old friends, the fact checkers, are checking this. And, we literally got admissions from the top dogs in Pfizer saying they did not test shit about the transmission. Everyone just said it magically works. And the associated research was based off of nothing. Essentially, we got lied to, yet again, magically. Who would have expected? And the fact checkers are trying to push the narrative that, no, his admission that it wasn't tested means absolutely nothing, because here's some magical, unpeer-reviewed bullshit that was made in the past 24 hours that says that it magically works. Oh, yeah. This is the life that we are living, and this is the world that we are in. Think for yourself and ask questions. And if someone tells you that you can't ask questions, that means that there are serious questions that need to be asked. And if someone does not answer them, then they should be forced to answer them. Because most likely those questions are important. Anyway, this is probably demonetized anyway, so bye-bye.